more serious point, we are now living in a post-legal America. In many ways, the rule of law in this country has broken down. And considering that we were founded as a nation of laws, you know that whole republic thing that Republicans like to talk about? This is a really troubling development. Right now, there are at least a dozen officials in the Bush administration who committed war crimes, who politicized our Justice Department, who leaked the name of a CIA agent for political gain, who have yet to face the American justice system for their crimes. Not only that, these men like Karl Rove, Don Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, John Yoo, Jay Bybee, even George W. Bush himself, they're thumbing their noses at American law. They're appearing on TV. They're touting their crimes. They're going on book tours and making a pile of money. In the cases of attorneys John Yoo and Jay Bybee, John Yoo is teaching law. Jay Bybee was rewarded by Bush but with a lifetime seat on the Ninth Circuit Court, one step below the Supreme Court. Not only that, there are thousands of banksters on Wall Street who stole trillions of dollars from us and people all around the world, ruined the lives of billions of people around the world with their theft from global financial markets. Damage was done as a result of premeditated fraud. Yet they still sit in their corner offices on Wall Street, still making their millions in bonuses. I don't know if you saw the Too Big to Fail special on HBO. It's just, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, because it didn't even talk about its impact on average working people. That was just a story about the banksters. And they have yet to even catch a whiff of the rule of law in America. Elsewhere around America, you have big energy CEOs who have the blood of countless men on their hands as a result of exploding oil rigs and collapsing coal mines, as well as thousands of cancers and billions of dollars in environmental destruction on their watch. Yet not one of them is facing criminal charges for their negligence. And while overt high crimes are being carried out by America's rich and powerful without consequence, Nixon's war on drugs continues to throw hundreds of thousands of working class and poor Americans in prison for nonviolent and petty crimes like smoking pot. America has the highest rate of incarceration in the developed world thanks to Nixon's war on drugs, yet not one of these inmates hails from the Bush administration, Goldman Sachs, or BP. Can you see a double standard here? Steal $50 in candy bars from a 7-Eleven, you go to jail. Steal $50 million from public pensions or from 100,000 homeowners, here's a bailout. Keep paying yourself millions. It appears as though our rule of law breaks down once you pass the sixth zero in someone's bank account. But it's not just this tale of two justice systems that's weighing down the rule of law in America. It's our foreign policy strategy, too. Our current war in Libya is raging for more than 2 months now without any legal authority. We're targeting a U.S. citizen right now as I speak for assassination without trial. We're routinely violating the Fourth Amendment with warrantless wiretaps and cyber snooping. And you may well be one of the people whose rights have been violated. I mean, it's millions of us. And we're holding detainees in Gitmo without due process of law. Not to mention the non-existent legal basis for a slew of secret detention facilities around the world to which we outsourced our torture. Our government officials and policymakers have found a cozy spot far away from the reaches of our justice system to legislate foreign policy. And they found that spot because of a decade of policies by George W. Bush that have sufficiently neutered our justice system, but only when it comes to prosecuting bigwigs in politics or corporate America. If you're the right person, then anything goes today in America. So while the crimes mount and our politicians and CEOs don their immunity badges, the rest of America is going head-to-head against monster security machines like the Patriot Act and the Nixon War on Drugs. So the question, when the rule of law has broken down within a nation built on laws, what's left? And this is a really serious question. I mean, this was the whole idea of creating a republic here in the United States. Why Jefferson and although he founded the Democratic Republican Party, and Jefferson, Washington, Madison, Hamilton, John Jay, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Why these guys called themselves small R Republicans. The modern day Republican Party didn't start until just before the Civil War. And it started as a reform party, as an anti-slavery party and a reform party. But the modern-day Democratic Party started with Thomas Jefferson and James Madison in the 1790s as a way of pushing back against the John Adams presidency and the Federalists, which was that day's Republicans, the conservatives. So if you have a country that was, the founding principle of America wasn't we're going to have limited government. It was that we are going to limit the reach of government into our private lives by force of law, and we're going to limit the behavior of people in ways that harm others by force of law. In other words, we're going to create a nation of laws where every person, regardless of their gender, regardless of their race, regardless of their national origin, regardless of their citizenship, other than qualifications to become president of the United States or a member of Congress, the Constitution does not mention citizenship when it mentions the rights that are afforded to persons within the United States of America. Those rights are available to every human being in this country, whether they're a legal or illegal visitor. So with regard to all of this stuff, whether they're in detention in Gitmo or whether they're a German tourist standing in New York City looking at Times Square, those rights are there. So we have to ask ourselves, in a nation of laws, when law has broken down under the Bush administration, and it really started breaking down under the Reagan administration, what's left?